it's Disney Girl, and today I'm going to be doing my predictions for the Finding Nemo collection. So Disney's Magic Kingdoms game has released this stained glass confirming that Finding Nemo is coming to the kingdom next. Now we just don't know whether it is going to be a limited time event or permanent content. I do believe that it will be a limited time event because we haven't had one in about 2 months, and the Finding Nemo collection is quite a big one in terms of characters, so I think it would be really awesome if they did add those characters to a limited time event. Now, if we do get a limited time event, it usually lasts about 26 days and we get 7 new characters. Now, 2 of those characters though will be premium, so you will have to purchase them with either gems or real money. There will be bundles for both of those characters that definitely makes it worth your while to purchase them, and it does help you quite a bit throughout the event, but you don't have to purchase them obviously if you don't want to. So here's a little bit of a look at some of the previous limited time event characters and collections. And if we're looking at the MOANA one right now, I do want to sort of say that I think that the MOANA collection would be an awesome one to have as a secondary storyline, because it has been 2 months since we've had the MOANA event, and I think considering, you know, MOANA is very beachy and she does spend a lot of time on the ocean, I do think that the 2 storylines would match up actually quite nicely. So I think it would definitely be pretty cool if we did have MOANA as a secondary storyline for the Finding Nemo event. Now let's talk about characters, because honestly, I cannot wait to talk about the characters. Now, the thing is though, I do want to mention is that if you guys don't complete the Finding Nemo limited time event, those characters and attractions and concessions and decorations, they will all go into legendary chests. So that happens with every event. So if you guys have missed the Lion King or Winnie the Pooh or Lilo and Stitch, all of those ones will be in legendary chests right now. Actually, Lilo and Stitch would also be kind of a fun one to have as a secondary storyline too. I guess that's pretty beachy as well. So I guess maybe I'll say either MOANA or Lilo and Stitch would be definitely really fun. Okay, so let's do the characters. So the characters, I think they would start off the limited time event with Marlin. It does make sense in terms of dialogue and stuff like that, and he's a really awesome dad. He's an awesome dad fish that we definitely need to have in the kingdom, so why not just have him first? Then second, I think that Mr. Ray would be a really, really awesome addition. Now, if they don't add Mr. Ray as a character, I think they actually could add him as an attraction, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on, why I think that he could be an actual attraction, but just based off of what they did in the MOANA limited time event. But again, I'll discuss that in a couple of minutes here. So if they do add Mr. Ray though as a character, then I do think he would be a pretty awesome one to have as a premium character. After that, well, I don't know if everybody is going to agree with me on this one, but I think Bruce, and yes, he is a big, giant, scary looking shark and will probably terrify all of my mermaids in the kingdom, but I think he will be an awesome one to add to the kingdom. He's going to be big, he's going to be mean, but we do need at least one character that can have obviously some really, really great dialogue with Marlin, and I think he would be a great one to add sort of near the beginning. I don't think they'll give us Dory right off the bat, so I think that if they give us Bruce, that again can create a lot of great dialogue and stuff, especially because Bruce has the belief that fish are friends, not food. So again, I think it would be a really great dialogue story between Marlin and Bruce for sure. Now, after that, I think they could add Crush. Now, Crush, yes, is the sea turtle, and it is difficult to say whether they'll add Crush or Squirt. And yes, Squirt is the little baby sea turtle, so I think Squirt will be a little bit more popular, and I think people will really, really want Squirt into the kingdom. But I think a lot of the great dialogue and quests will definitely come between Marlin and Crush. So I think Crush 2 would also be a really great premium character. So I do hope that they add him, and I do actually kind of hope that he is going to be one of the premium ones and not Dory, because that leads me into the next character, Dory. I'm a little bit worried they might add her as a premium character, and I think that might upset a lot of people, but I kind of realized that it might be one of those things that she'll be quite a popular character, so I think that they might want to sort of have one at least sort of popular character as a premium one, sort of like what they did with The Little Mermaid and Prince Eric. I feel like Dory kind of fits that same sort of build in terms of very important character, but it's obviously not Nemo, so I do think that with the stained glass sort of gave that away, that we're going to be trying to find Nemo. We're starting off with Marlin, and Dory is going to be premium. So that's, again, that's sort of my opinion on it, but I think that it's very, very possible that that could happen. So my thoughts are either Ray, Crush, or Dory. Those are kind of the three possibilities in my mind for premium characters, assuming obviously all of them get added into the kingdom. Now I know it's only going to be 2, but there are definitely 3 possibilities right there. Next, I think the 6th character that they will add is Gil. Now, I had a really hard time, guys, to be honest, trying to do my predictions for Finding Nemo. There were just so many great characters, and I really was having a really hard time sort of deciding on which ones they would leave out. But I do feel that they can't really leave Gil out just because he is, you know, from the fish tank, but he is also from the ocean previously. So I feel like there was also a lot of great dialogue that they could have between Nemo and Gil. So I feel like that's one of the really great things. I know there'll definitely be some cool dialogue with some of the other characters with Nemo, but obviously when Nemo comes in, we are going to need sort of a I don't know, I feel like a second character besides Marlin to have a lot of interaction with, and I feel like Gil is going to be that character. Now, obviously the 7th character is gonna be Nemo. Nemo needs to be added. I mean, he was in the stained glass, so I feel Marlin and Nemo are kind of absolute givens. So I think that Nemo will be the very last character that we are trying to fight for. So with this collection, though, I feel like there is going to be no costumes. So at the very end, I feel like they might make Nemo a little bit more difficult to get, but we will just sort of have to wait and see how that goes. Now, I did give you guys 7 characters. So Marlin, Mr. Ray, Bruce, Crush, Dory, Gil, and Nemo. And the other 2 possible characters, I was kind of struggling whether they would put them on the list or not, is going to be Squirt and Peach. So Squirt, as I said, is the little baby sea turtle, and Peach is the starfish. I think Peach would be totally amazing to have as a character, but I wonder maybe if that would be a really great tower challenge one a little bit later. So I feel like now's a really good time to tell you guys that I feel that these are the characters if they're going to be doing this limited time event based off of Finding Nemo. Now, if they do have Finding Dory instead of Finding Nemo as the event, this could really open up a couple of doors for some other characters. So this is sort of what I'm thinking, that if they're going to incorporate part of the second Finding Nemo movie, which is called Finding Dory, I feel that maybe the characters might change a little bit. So I'll tell you guys my thoughts on that right now, just since we're on characters and stuff like that. I do feel that we'll still have Marlin, we'll have Crush, we'll have Nemo, and we'll have Dory. So if that was to happen, I don't think we would be getting Bruce, Gil, or Mr. Ray as characters at this time. If they go off more of the Finding Dory, I feel like it'll be Marlin, Crush, Bailey, Destiny, Nemo, Hank, and Dory. So I think those would be the 7 characters if we're doing more of a Finding Dory, not Finding Nemo theme. I do feel it is going to be Finding Nemo, but I just wanted to sort of add to you guys that if they do add some of the characters from Finding Dory, that definitely gets rid of a couple of ones from the Finding Nemo collection. So again, a lot of them are the same characters in both movies, which is pretty great, but there are some new ones. So again, those new ones would be Bailey, Destiny, and Hank. I feel like those ones would have to be sort of added in the limited time event if it is for finding Dory and not Nemo. Also, too, that does open the possibility then to have Jenny, Charlie, and Becky as a tower challenge a little bit later. So I think that would be quite cool. If you guys aren't sure who Jenny and Charlie are, those are Dory's parents, actually. And I know that they like adding parents into the kingdom now because we have seen that in previous events. For example, Princess and the Frog, they added Eudora. In MOANA, they added Cinna, Chief Tui, and Grandma Tala. So a lot of characters that way that were family. So I feel in this case, they could really sort of build on that. I don't think they'll start off the event with Jenny and Charlie and Marlon because I feel like it's just too many parents. But it does open up that possibility for later tower challenges and stuff like that, so I think it would be kind of cool. Also, too, it would change the attractions a little bit, so yeah. That, again, it kind of makes it a little bit more confusing between the two, but again, they definitely could sort of go that route and incorporate both movies, so I feel like that's a little bit unique. It's going to be a little bit different. I know for the Wreck-It Ralph limited time event, they didn't really do Wreck-It Ralph, they did Ralph Breaks the Internet. So there were a lot of characters I would have thought they would have added that were a part of Wreck-It Ralph, and they would have stuck with that original movie, but they didn't. They went for the second one. So that's why I'm saying it is possible that they could add some of the characters from Finding Dory, and they won't all be from Finding Nemo, because we definitely didn't see Hank, Destiny, or Bailey in Finding Nemo. We only saw those in Finding Dory. So again, it is a possibility. And if they do that, again, that sort of opens that other door for Mr. Ray being an attraction. So let's talk about those attractions right now. So in the MOANA limited time event, we definitely thought that we were going to be getting Tamatoa as a character. I was really, really happy with the possibility of having him as a character sort of walking around the kingdom. They didn't do that, though. They made him an attraction, and this was the very first time I sort of noticed that they actually did this. So I feel like Mr. Ray could be one of those ones that would actually be pretty cool to have as an attraction. I feel like, again, it could give us some pretty cool animations and stuff like that, and it does again open that other door to sort of see some other characters, like some of Nemo's friends and stuff like that he goes to school with. So I feel like that would be a really cool attraction. They could also add him as a parade float, which we have seen from, for example, like the mayor from The Nightmare Before Christmas. He actually is a character now in the kingdom, and he is on the parade float, so he got quite a bit of attention there for sure. It definitely made sense he was on the parade float, and I really like that he was added into the kingdom in a tower challenge, but again, that's just a lot of attention to one character. But at the same time, like, I realized that sort of happens when you want to sort of expand on characters in a collection, especially like The Nightmare Before Christmas, where it is very limited in terms of characters that you can have as part of that collection. Finding Nemo, there's a lot of, like, I feel like main characters, but something like The Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe not so much. So that's why I feel like this is actually quite a difficult prediction video for me, because again, there's so many characters that I could see them adding for sure in the kingdom. I almost feel like they could totally have an event for like 2 months long and just give us like 14 characters. They could do totally something with this collection. It is that big in my mind, and I normally don't say that about collections, but this is definitely one that I could see them doing something like that, but I highly doubt they will. But it's just one of those things. I feel like it would be really great if they did do something different with it. But anyways, that's again my thought of the attraction being Mr. Ray. I think it is a really actually high possibility sort of at this point. Now, other attractions, one of the main ones, guys, I really want to talk to you guys about, and it's already in the kingdom. We actually already have one, I feel, that is specific to Finding Nemo. And for the longest time, I just never really clued in to the jumping jellyfish in terms of an attraction and stuff like that. But I really feel that this is perfect for Finding Nemo. Now again, this is an attraction for elixirs. It is found in Merlin's shop, so if you guys want to purchase it, you can purchase it there. It won't be like a part of the limited time event, but it is one of those ones that you can purchase in there that can be sort of specific to it. So like the magical lamp theater for Aladdin, I know there's 2 Aladdin attractions that were in Merlin's shop, and they were both 7,500 it used to be anyway, 7,500 elixirs for each of those. And again, there were just 2 attractions for Aladdin. And again, they had nothing to do with the Aladdin event, but they were there and they were specific to Aladdin. So I feel like the jumping jellyfish might be one of those attractions that is specific to Finding Nemo, but it's not like spelt out, and it will not be part of the limited time event, obviously, because it's already in the kingdom. So just something to think about, guys, is when you're maybe even setting up your kingdom now with the Finding Nemo stuff, that you might want to kind of put the jumping jellyfish in and around there. And 2, I wonder if it might actually help us collect character tokens, possibly even after the limited time event. I feel like it would be one of those ones that might actually drop one of the premium characters' character tokens. At least that's sort of what I'm thinking right now, but not sure. So anyways, I feel like we already have one of my attraction ideas, which I literally was gonna call the jumping jellyfish, and I was like, wait, we already have that attraction in the kingdom. So there's a scene where Dory and Marlin are playing a game, and they're trying to sort of get out from in between all of the big giant jellyfishes, and so yeah, I was like, oh, that's totally an attraction. But again, it's already in the kingdom, so not gonna happen. Now, other possible attractions, I think this one is kind of perfect, but I realize that you guys might think it's kind of boring in some ways, but I do think they wouldn't need to be very big, so it could be one of those smaller ones, and one maybe that they sort of start off with. I feel like it would be really great for dialogue, and it would be probably really great for the first couple of characters and stuff like that in terms of interaction, and that is home. Yes, home for Marlin and Nemo. And I think maybe we can add Dory in that mix as well. So I think that it would be a pretty cool looking attraction, and I think it would sort of offer a lot of really great quests for sure as well. Now, I do think that we are going to get the aquarium as an attraction. Now, this one I think could go maybe 2 ways. So one of the ideas I have is they could have it as the dentist office, but I don't think so. I feel like it wouldn't be as cool looking of an attraction. I do think, though, that they would actually have a really great looking one if they do add the aquarium. Now, the aquarium, or if they didn't want to do that, they could do something like the Ring of Fire, just more specifically, so a big giant volcano pretty much. But again, I think the aquarium would be a lot better, and then they could have that as a very large attraction. I do think that one too, I think that would be a really great one to have as a premium attraction. So we would have to use our gems or buy it in a bundle. But that is sort of my thought on that. But again, I think the aquarium would be a really great actual attraction. So super cool if they did that. Now, the other one I was thinking is the EAC. If you guys don't know what that is the East Australian Current. Especially if they do add Crush, I feel like they sort of need to have that as an attraction. How that's going to actually look, I'm not sure, but I feel like it could be very unique, and there could be some really interesting sort of animations with that they could totally add with Crush. And that too, they could also add some great animations for Squirt if they do add him like later on in a tower challenge. So again, I think that one would be super duper cool looking in the kingdom for sure. And they already have like a bunch of attractions that are like the ocean and stuff like that from the MOANA and Lilo and Stitch, and even I guess the Little Mermaid. So I kind of feel that they need to sort of branch out a little bit and look at some other options for some of the attractions and stuff like that. Now there are 2 attractions, guys, that I think as well that they might add. They are actually real. One of them is called the Finding Nemo submarine. So it's actually a submarine that you guys, I guess you can take a tour in. The other one is the Seas with Nemo and Friends. Now that is an actual attraction at Disney. And yeah, this is sort of a little preview of what the ride looks like. Now, if they do something to do for Finding Dory, if they want to have one of the attractions from there. Now, they would, I feel, have to add Destiny, Hank, and Bailey for this attraction to actually happen. But it would be the Marine Life Institute. So that could look many different ways. But I think that if they do decide they're going to add some of those Finding Dory characters, that attraction will for sure appear in the event. So yes, lots of possible ideas for attractions, lots of possible ideas for characters and even directions that the storyline could go for sure. And we've talked about the parade float a little bit. We talked about Mr. Ray being, you know, part of the parade float. Also too, maybe since the jumping jellyfish is already an attraction and stuff, if they want to incorporate you know, some more jellyfish and stuff like that, I feel that maybe the parade float could have something to do with jellyfish. So I think that could be actually kind of cool to have as a parade float, but we'll see what ends up happening. Now that sort of leaves us with concessions and decorations. Now this has been really, really hard, and I've watched now over the last like 48 hours or so. I have been watching Finding Nemo and Dory, kind of like both of them on repeat, trying to like pick out certain things and lines and characters. It's been really, really challenging for me, guys. It's been very, very difficult decisions to just choose a few of the characters. But I do think that the concessions, I think that there's only like 3 real possibilities. I mean, there could be a lot more, but I feel 3 of them are like really, really good. The first one I think that would look fantastic, especially on the little kids wandering around the park, is scuba divers goggles. So I think that, you know, the kids could wear them on their head or on their face or something like that and walk around with the goggles. It definitely has some like a very, very significant meaning for the movie. So I think that those are kind of a necessity for sure. The second concession actually would be a fish face cookie. That's what I've decided to call it. Pretty much, I feel like we couldn't have an event without the fish face. The fish face needed to appear somewhere, so I was like, where could they put it? I was like, on a cookie. It's totally realistic to have a cutout cookie with a fish face on it. So that is my second concession idea. The third one, I was having a little bit of trouble with. I was like, oh, they could do like a Finding Nemo backpack or something like that, but I came up with a seahorse backpack. So I thought that would be super cute. There are a couple of seahorses from both of the films, so I thought it would be really neat if they did maybe a seahorse backpack. I thought maybe like a teddy bear or something, but I feel like a backpack is more realistic. And I thought too it would be so cute because I know they did a Scrump backpack for Lilo and Stitch, so I was thinking, oh my gosh, it'd be so awesome. I would totally, if I was a kid going into the park, I would totally want a seahorse backpack. So that I chose a seahorse backpack as my third concession stand. Now, in terms of decorations, this is really, really hard. Pretty much I decided to go with almost anything that was in the fish tank. So keep calling it the aquarium or fish tank. I mean the same thing. Yeah, anything sort of goes with that. I feel like we could have a little treasure chest with bubbles. I think, you know, we could have a clam. We could have, you know, the basically Gil's house, I guess. I guess that's where he spends most of his time. You know, it's the big pirate skull. So I feel like there are a lot of things. They could also add, you know, some greenery in it. Like there's lots of different sea plants they can add. But again, I included a couple of images of sort of some of the really, really great ones. Also, too, they're going to need a gold trophy. So I do think that this one here would be a really, really great one for a gold trophy. But we'll see what they decide to do. Almost anything sort of goes. I just don't think the pirate skull will be the gold trophy one, which we'll be getting from leaderboard events. I don't think that one will be. That would just be a decoration. But again, I feel that is sort of where you want to look if you guys are trying to think of your own ideas in terms of what they could add. I feel that that's sort of where you want to look. That definitely makes the most sense. And it definitely looks like decorations for our kingdom anyway, so kind of cool. Now, in terms of currency and I guess in terms of like leaderboard events, and I know that we in the last event had to sort of clear away the Kakamora and stuff. We had to collect things to sort of defeat them. I feel that for this one, we're gonna have either jellyfish or seagulls. So we're either gonna be tapping the seagulls to get currency or the jellyfish. I think it could go really either way. Seagulls might make more sense in terms of flying around the kingdom, and maybe the jellyfish are the things that we have to clear. But I mean, both of them, I feel that it could go either way. So one of them will be a tapper for currency. So it'll be like every 2 hours we have to tap like 5 of them or whatever that are just randomly around our kingdom, and it just gives us a bit of extra currency and stuff like that. Also, 2, it will give us the main character token, which we will be collecting for all of the characters. So it's been for like the Little Mermaid event, it was seashells. We know that for Princess and the Frog, it was gumbo. So I do feel that that we will be tapping most likely seagulls or jellyfish for, again, that character token and currency. And then again, we're going to be doing probably some sort of clear the jeweled crabs or the Kakamora. So it's going to most likely, again, be either the seagulls or the jellyfish. Jellyfish, again, I still think is going to be for that one. But yeah, so I think that pretty much covers, guys, what I think for the Finding Nemo / Finding Dory limited time event. Now, if it is not a limited time event, then I think the characters will literally probably just include Marlin, Dory, and Nemo, and I think they'll just leave it at that. And then attractions, again, it could go really anyway. Like, they might just do some very general attractions, like, again, the fish tank. Maybe they'll even do the Marine Life Institute, sort of showing that they'll add later some of the other characters from Finding Dory. But again, I feel like then it would be very, very small. So I don't think they'll do that. I think that there'll be way then too many Finding Nemo / Dory updates in the kingdom. And I really don't think they'll do that. So I'm going to stick with it being a limited time event for the most part for my predictions. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I definitely have worked very, very hard on this. So if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you guys give it a big Mickey thumbs up. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for post notifications, especially if you want to stay on top of the Finding Nemo limited time event, because I will be doing live streams and videos throughout it, so you guys can sort of stay up to date for sure. So thank you for watching, and we will see you guys for the next one. Bye!